When you decide to build a time machine for diddling with Pokepast and future, and you're summoning creatures from the ether, well, you're rolling that dice, and sometimes you shouldn't be surprised if, well, the result's not quite what you expected. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Pokemon trainers, all yes, hello, and welcome back to some more brand new, ridiculously cool, well-designed Paradox Pokemon of long ago and of yet to come. You all enjoyed it very much last time, and I have to say, I very much enjoyed talking about them too, given that Terastallizing and Paradox and the Phenomenon and the Time Machine and the Crystals and all of that goodness will of course be a large, huge, big focus of the imminent DLC. It is no doubt that we will get new Paradox Pokemon, probably on top of the two we already know about in our double, triple legendary combination. But what else could we see? What else would we want to see? Well, I'll tell you. Beginning then with a wonderful artist by the name of Artworks218. You can find him down below. This is, well, Iron Blaster. And it's absolutely bloody wonderful! I'll be honest with you, Cluitza's honestly one of my favourite Pokemon, and the idea that in the future he is turned into, I mean, this is nothing short of heavy artillery, is amazing to me. Water Electric is, of course, perfect, and I love the kind of opposites together typing, like Water and Fire, for example, and right here, I mean, you can just see the laser, right? You can just see the disintegration beam, the pulse cannon, the iron rifle, other various, some such of, you know, futuristic weaponry words, as he rolls around and takes aim. It really does tickle my fancy. As does, well, this next one, to go back to our good friend Bulby Boy, also down below, is Venom Crests. And I do mean Venom Crests, because you cannot look at this guy and not imagine him speaking like this. It has similar features to a creature mentioned in an old book as a dinosaur that lived in symbiosis with poison plants. Grass poison, and this, of course, is the Paradox form of Sceptile. A little bit of that classic Dilophosaurus design with that good old tropical plant vibrancy and colour. Yeah, this one really is cool, and honestly, I think I might prefer this to actual Sceptile. I know that might be heresy to say, but I kind of do. It's a lot of fun, especially as it literally spits poison, much again like the Dilo that it is clearly based off. Moving on then to the original dragon, another past Paradox, and this one, it's the triple combination of the Unnovan trio of Legendary in the form of Reshiram, Zekrom, and Kyurem. That is intimidating to say the least. Pure dragon, of course, and the idea that in the far past they were simply one being before divergent evolution took place and they split off down their respective trees, the Legendaries we know today, well, that's very, very cool. The idea is he's emerged from the crater of Paldea, and, well, that's very alarming for everyone who lives there. Then we have ourselves one that I think's just awesome in Dread Bundle. Yes, to take Iron Bundle all the way back as an Ice Ghost, it's the Krampus to the Santa, and that is, of course, a very, I would say, obvious take on a past Delibird, but one that makes so much sense and is so well done. He starts off in the past as evil and grouchy, stealing your soul, putting it in his sack, and then slowly over the years softens, goes in the other direction and starts handing out presents. Sometimes explosive presents, but hey, it's still presents. Absolutely love it. And again, I actually think this is the best version of Delibird I've seen, despite it being a fake one, so that's a little bit of a shame. Then we have Iron Synthesis, who is looking ready to absorb a hell amount of sunlight and send it back at you with the world's most powerful solar beam. A veritable walking solar panel. It's honestly a really good take on Meganium, and one that, again, I actually kind of prefer to the actual Meganium that we have. They are peaceful and uninterested in humans, and honestly, I can see it. I can see them being a future take on solving power generation, or perhaps these guys are used as a power source from a similar system to solar panels, but of course the Pokemon version, and that's really cool to imagine. Finally, then, we have, or at least finally from Bulby Boy, Iron Blaster. That is one hell of an intimidating paradox of the future. Water and Dragon. The Dragon, I'm not entirely as sure. I think Water Steel would still be pretty good, and that's a pretty potent type combination. But in any case, yeah. I mean, the Dragon, of course, the shape of the tail, and you can fire Dragon beams out of it, but I don't know. Water Steel or Water Dark is kind of calling to me here. But in any case, this is a veritable Blastoise tank and a actual water reactor on legs. What kind of power that implies him to have is anybody's guess, but essentially he can blast down walls with massive laser cannons, and at that point, who else really cares? This is a Pokemon you need in your party right the hell now. Supposedly these guys literally dig into the crater and expand it with said cannons, and whether that's a problem or not would be for you to figure out were this guy to be real. Then, swapping back to Mr. Artworks 218, we have an absolutely brilliant take on, of course, Ampharos with fluffy scales. Kinda get a little bit of the Mega Evolution vibes, but it's Dragon Fairy, which is a very fun type combination and one I would actually love to see happen. It really does kind of work, doesn't it? You can properly see the scales. The only thing is, of course, is electricity not a thing anymore? It doesn't have the typing, it still has the yellow, it still has the lightningy bulb on the tail. Does it still use electric attacks, or is this in the past of Paradoxness before it developed Thunder as a defense mechanism? And it was entirely something else entirely. Yes, entirely something else entirely. God, I'm so good with words! But the point remains, it's a very cool design, and again, I think it might be genuinely my favorite version of Ampharos, though admittedly, I'm not Ampharos's biggest fan to begin with, but still, swing! Savage Sword. This is a big boy, a Ground Dark, a Paradox Pass version of Nidoking. Yeah, that is a Nidoking. The horn is gnarly, and that's a proper right little dinosaur-looking lad, isn't it? There's not much to say about this guy. He's just a proper natural bladed tank who you don't want to mess with. You can feel the bulk emanating off him, the defense, the health, and the attack. He don't need anything else. He's gonna mow you and everything you care about down. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, that's another colourful collection of creatures paradox in Pokemon Scarlet Violet, or at least potentially in them. Let me know which one is your favourite, let me know which one you think works most as an actual Pokemon design, and which Pokemon would you most like to see get a paradox form in the DLC. For now then, like if you enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more, consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.